Nightmares. Not your average either. They're always the same. Or it, rather. You see, ever since I died, it's been the same dream. So I stopped sleeping. Lack of sleep just makes what I've become worse. Some people say it's like a zombie. I've been called that, sure. The more accurate word is ghoul, but when I looked it up, it's got the most broad and vague description of all the undead. I could literally still be anything. What I know is that, like zombies, I eat things. I don't mean to. It just sort of happens. You breathe near me and suddenly you're an all-you-can-eat buffet. Sorry, it's just my nature. Unlike zombies, I have my humanity intact. So after I kill you, I'm likely to cry. It's like someone flips a switch in my head from murderous monster back to compassionate human being. Human. Wish I could call myself that again. Now, I did drastic measures to stop myself from eating people. I suppose I'll tell you the long version of the story. That and how I even got this way. I lived in a gloomy farm village. There were zombies there. I guess that was before the agency really had a good grasp on pest control like that. Farmers would load up their guns and go about their days farming and blasting the heads off the undead. You came back from work or the shops and you'd be patted down for bites like someone was searching for ticks. If you checked out, no bites, you were cleared to go wash up for dinner. But if you weren't, well, you were taken out back and shot in the head. No ifs, ands, or buts. No negotiation. It was just how things were. One thing about the dead is that our land was so fertile. With the dead popping back up like daisies, our daisies, petunias, corn, wheat, you name it, would do the same tenfold. Most thriving land you could have, but gloomy. There was always this green fog that would roll in, choked you up, darken the sky. Nevertheless, the farmers worked, and so did I. I was a farmhand. My father had died and my mother took her life after shooting him in the head. I just sat there watching it happen. I was 10, no, 11? Either way, it was a traumatic experience. I was working in the field one day when a walking corpse got behind me somehow. It all seems a blur in my memory. I fought hard until it bit me. Now, usually you get sick, you start to die. Within hours, you're one of them. So I stayed in the barn. I didn't respond when they called for me. They must have assumed I was dead or ran off. I waited there to die. But all I did was get hungry. So hungry. I didn't feel sick. Not as sick as they get. Tired, yes. Sick? Not so much. As I lay propped against the barn wall, I felt a great strain in my chest, just under my ribs. My heart fluttered for a moment and then stopped. Altogether stopped. I sat there aghast, waiting for it to either start up again or for myself to slip into something more feral and slobbering. It didn't happen. I remained me. My wound healed as I stayed hidden in the loft, eating rats that I caught. It never dawned on me what I'd become, eating the small creatures. It seemed normal to me. It was around the 10th day when I finally showed myself to them. The bite had healed over, leaving a small scar in its stead. They stared at me before finally asking me to speak. I spoke, coherently. Hello. Sorry I've been gone so long. It's all I could muster. I had no excuse, and I'm not one for insincerity. Wives' tales. They checked me over, not even lingering on the scar. They gave me a pat on the back. I felt nauseated. I was so hungry. He spoke once more, but his words melded into an inaudible slurry. That's when his eyes locked on mine. Saw the deadness in them. He rose his gun and I dove for his neck. Once the frenzy, the struggle, was done, I moved back in terror. I was a monster. This verified it, made it finally sink in. Humans don't just tear others apart like that. I had no time to recover when his wife ran in. She shrieked, reaching for a pitchfork, and that's when the thing, Me, when I dove for her, flaying her apart like she was nothing. God, their meat tasted like heaven to how hungry I was, to that monster. Fear overtook me once more when I came back to my senses. I had to do something drastic. I grabbed their crude sewing kit and stitched my lips loosely together with the strong twine. It didn't hurt. Nothing does anymore. Until the agency found me, I simply wandered the countryside, pretending to be normal, eating nothing, sleeping rarely. The nightmares. They're of me running from a tractor. It's mowing zombies down behind me. The only reason I don't die is because I can run and they can't. I fear that I'll just stop running one day.